Welcome back, Keith, to Today at the Races, of course. This is one of our last. We have only one more 4-day weekend before we have. That's the Thanksgiving weekend of the 4 days that we have. So we're just kind of wrapping things up here. Let's take a look at what we've got going on the track. The track is fast, the dirt, that would be. And the turf is firm here. We're going to be out. We're going to try and be outside for tomorrow for you guys. Or this afternoon. Sorry, it's Sunday.
Tomorrow, I'm not going to be here.
Nobody's going to be here.
No. We're going to, a little bit of a post-Breeders' Cup today, so hopefully everybody had a good weekend with that and did well with their wagers. But, yeah, beautiful day on tap. If you can come out and join us, get out on the apron, have a couple cocktails, enjoy this racing card because it's you might be forced to have a couple of cocktails because my head was spinning after going through this card.
Absolutely agree. It's going to be a doozy here for this card, and let's get right to it, starting off with that early pick 5. The first leg is on the turf and a claiming 20,000, which have never won 2, going 5.5. Second wire finish for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratches in the 11 and the 12. Okay. Keith, you go with the number 5 on top, and Joey Tickles. This is in the barn of Andy Simoff. Jamie Rodriguez gets the call with this one.
I thought ran really, really well at Delaware off of a long break. Broke a little bit slow, had to move up, was acting up a little bit in the gate, was a bit unruly, settled, came away a little slow, but moved up, and I think caught steady twice. I saw 3/8, and I saw again mid-turn, made another move inside of Rivals to keep on gamely for the place. I like Joey Tickles here. J-Rod kind of had his choice when you looked at the overnight, had the Allard horse who looks like he had plenty of speed, gentle breeze. So maybe Joey Tickles behaves today, breaks a little sharper on or off, just off the lead, and can get it done in the opener. Lots of early money now for Joey Tickles. He'll tick up a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. Let's also talk about the exacta play that you have here. 5-1 right now for the betting right now. But Twist and Twirl, Karen Wagner, Julio Hernandez. Let's take a look at that effort last in October over at right here over at Laurel and on Maryland Milling Day.
Yeah, he runs well. Was able to save ground. Works outward against much better horses. This is experienced field, some good horses. Hunter Joe, the last sip, came back to run a 78. Twist and Twirl, shortening up, was out of the Joey Tickles race on the 12th of September at Delaware. Was just behind him. And like J.R. Jonesy, who we're going to see in the third race, kind of like a little bit of a key. He might have drawn the tougher split in race 3. Got to face that Tim Vick runner. But, I think Twist and Twirl turning back will have a substantial run against this group for trainer Karen Wagner. 5-1, 6-7, tool pusher, yes. Bernie Dunham, we know with these turf sprinters, he's been good year in and year out. Goes second off the claim, second time without the blinkers. Ran okay. Jolly Boss, good horse. I mean, got speed. Jolly Boss yesterday shook clear. Just couldn't quite hold on late against a little bit better. But Tool Pusher, again, should be able to drop in a little bit and save a little bit more ground than what he did last time.
Absolutely. 5-1, 6-7, as he mentioned there for Keith Fussell in race 1. Let's go ahead to your early pick 4. What do you have to offer us here today?
Yeah.
You gave a late pick 3. We're back on the early pick 4 train.
Early pick 4. We're all over the map here. 6-7, too deep to get you started. We had to adjust. Late scratches there in race 2. Scratch the 3. Allenhurst, the 9-5 morning line favorite, is out. So I go 6-7. Race 3, we're going to single. Tim Vick. Not something we do a whole lot of, but we're rooting for my man Tim. Let's get it done with same day as LJ. Race 4, 1-3-4. Persian over my sense. We have a stat for that one. It's a monster mash right there for just a couple days after Halloween, right? Race 5, 1, 3, 4, and 10. 4 deep in race number 5. That's a tricky little sprint, 5.5 starter optional. So that's a $12 ticket. Add if you like. We're going to keep it minimal today.
It starts with this maiden claiming 12-5 for the girls, 2-year-old girls, going a mile. Second wire finish, as Keith, you mentioned. Big scratch in the 9-5 favorite. And Allenhurst, you and I both go with Tiger Forever because I did have Allenhurst on top as well. But Tiger Forever, Claudio Gonzalez, Georgie Vargas, second time start, stretching out for the first time.
Not a whole lot to get excited on and hang your hat on. I mean, if you can invest a ton here, you're good. You got me beat big time. Maybe you got a little steam. I don't. The only thing I've got, Tiger Forever, Gonzalez's horse, got play in debut. Flashed a little speed, much quicker internals than the rest of these. Stretching out, Nick's Funny Bone, Boss Man JJ and the family. It's a little bit of a sprinting lean, but little stat for you. Claudia, the last 2 years on the dirt, 5 for 12, 42%, 8 for 12 in the money. 2-year-old maiden claimers sprint the route. That's about it. Risk and regret can chase and hold a piece. If you got something to add here, I don't.
Not a single thing,
Okay.
Keith. 6-7-1-5 as we go to the second leg back on the turf. Going 5.5-second wire finish. Scratches in the 13 and the 14 in this, claiming 20,000 for the 3-year-olds and up, which have never won two. Let's talk about and let's get right to it. Same day as LJ for Tim Vick, Jose Betancourt. Let's look at that trouble last time out.
Need LJ, these Raven fans, to have another good day today. Denver in town. Let's get it done. I'm laying the points today. But anyhow, same day as LJ, came off a big blowout win for Maiden 25. Stepped up against a better field here, that state-bred first-level allowance. Gets himself in a little bit of a pickle into the turn. A little steady, a little check again. Man, I tell you what, he had every right to just go ahead and retreat. But you know what? He only gets beat 3. Shifts out wider, about 5-6 path in the turf course, and churns on. Willing enough, interesting, back for the tag. It's like, again, we're at the end of the season. It's 20,000. He may go to a new home. Tim's, I'm sure, has already thought of that. Good break. He's got a lot of speed, and if somebody wants to go, he showed the ability to recover off some trouble, so maybe he could go ahead and prompt. He's a different horse on the turf. Let's try to get this 9 home. Same day as LJ.
I love that. I love that. You also have to talk about corrected pedigree, win no joke, and also the 11 that you have underneath. J.R. Jonesy, I like that for Aaron McKellen, Yomar Torres.
Yeah, that's the horse we talked about. Everybody in the first race was running against J.R. Jonesy. Again, Chase Jolly Boss, okay? That works and can stay around. That's the key with that one. Outer post should be clear of any trouble. Corrected pedigree and a horse like Win No Joke, they're going to have to maybe deal with some traffic around the turn. They're kind of those horses that want to settle mid-pack and make a run. But they've both been fairly useful in this 2-in-life condition. Going to have to bring a little bit more punch to get through it. 9, 8, 6, 11.
There we go.
Yep.
Love that. I love your top selection there for Tim Vick. Hoping to get a win for him as we go on to race number 4. That starts the Rainbow Pick 6, and we are going to dive into my ticket just very quickly. Small carryover that'll grow by the time we get there. Let's go ahead to that ticket. I couldn't find a single. I had a lot of trouble finding a single in a lot of these races. I was 3 deep. I had to shave it down to 2. So in races 5 and 6, if you want to add more, I certainly would do that. But I gave you a $28.80 ticket. I'll get into more detail of that in the afternoon, and let's start this with the maiden claiming 45, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 2-year-old fillies. Keith, you have the number 4 on top. It's a monster mash here for Jerry Robb with the blinkers on. Xavier Perez, love this as your top selection here. That we'll see a new turnaround there.
A couple horses coming out of the Maryland Million Lassie. The one as well, Persian, dealing with all of that cluttered traffic. It's not easy. It can fry a young horse. It can really mess with them.
It's one of the most chaotic races that we have all year long. The Lassie and the Nursery. The Nursery, I thought was pretty tepid compared to other years. But anyway, back to it's a monster mash.
I think steadily improving, has the speed, now adds the blinkers and stayed on the better part of the track. Outer portion I thought was good on the 12th. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one put right into the flow early. Yeah, with 7-9 lengths back after a half in the Maryland Million Lassie. Look at those internals. 22 flat, 45 and 3. Not going to have to experience that today. I think this horse is going to work. The 3 over my sense. You have to pay attention to your top selection. Video Spotlight horse off of the debut behind I believe that was a first or It's a Sure Thing that came down, took money, I believe for one of the services, and really ran a bang up game race. But over my sense, I went back and edited this note too, just because we try to get things right.
It's hard.
Doing the charts. This horse had a little lunge at the break, and I added that in and had to recover. Took to some rating, and then was able to kind of work a trip through the final 3/16 of a mile. Over my sense, comes on and finishes quite game. That horse inside was tenacious, but we've got a stat here that's going to reinforce why you've probably got Over My Sense on top. Rudy Sanchez Salomon, last 2 years in the dirt, this is pretty strong. 5 for 15, 33%, 10 for 15 in the money. Maiden claiming, second career start, ROI 601. Man, that's huge. So, that horse with a little bit better break. Love the finish. A lot of heart there. In debut, should move up a little bit second time out.
You got 11 ROI like that at $6. Talking about the number 1 in Persian, Linda Albert, Yomar Ortiz. This one coming back. I love that what we saw out of this first one really has we have the potential to get back to that here today.
Yeah, and looking at the comment on the 12th in the Maryland Million, rated 3 to 4 wide, caught in between, empty.
Right.
Just might not have been comfortable. Again, a shorter field today. The debut was very encouraging when caught wide. Has the ability now to save ground. That could be huge and definitely help the run from the quarter pole home for Persian. This is an interesting race. Del Rey comes in. Yeah, Nancy Mary has had some issues in both starts. Rated inside, had to work outward in debut. Steadied it to half 4 wide. There's not a whole lot separating. The first quarter of a mile is going to be key for this group. And also getting that 7/8 of a mile. How will they handle that? And that might just help. You saw over my sense kind of maybe wanting a little bit more ground in debut.
Absolutely. 4-3-1-7, Keith Fusel, race number 4. Race number 5 starts the late pick 5, and we started on the turf here in the starter optional 30,000, going 5.5, your second wire finish for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 5 energy efficient. We're all over the board in this one for the most part, Keith. But I love your top selection. Guapo again, Rudy Sanchez Salmon gets Javian Toledo. That's kind of a big something that definitely caught my eye on the radar.
Yeah, this is a scramble type of a race. Some good horses, some nice sprinters. You got some horses getting up there by the seashore, an 8-year-old. But Guapo again, I liked him last time. He was just too keyed up. He got out there out of the gate, and Caramanos they couldn't get in rhythm. They couldn't get comfortable. And it happens with some riders, with some horses. This horse has run well with Toledo. Turning back in distance, was moving into top form. Why not take a shot? Some very sharp speed. Inevitable Connection, one whirlwind ride, maybe Absolute Grit brings it to the table. Odinson can be close, but I don't think Forrest is going to get involved early in a duel. So the pace should be there. Guapo again might have a little bit more positional speed, especially to the 2 horses that are inside of him. And that will give him the ability to save ground around the turn, then work it out from the 3/8 pole home. So, Guapo again, like 5-1, offers a little value here in race number 5. I expect it, a better try than last time.
Absolutely. Talk about by the Seashore for Michael Trombetta, Horacio Caramon. Just getting the rail this time. They had the rail last time. It didn't go so great, but coming off of the layoff, do you think this one is going to come in just a little bit sharper?
Well, I think he should. Needed a little bit of a freshening, although he didn't really quite fire back in June. He's an 8-year-old. Maybe he's just getting a little, like, okay, do I really, really want to keep doing this? But, it's 2 back. You got to win. Just a little break, I think, might have picked his head up. And, again, speed's going to be there. He needs that help up front. He's going to get it today.
Yep, there we go. I like that. The number 4, Inevitable Connection, you mentioned for the speed, and then we have to include Grateful Bread kind of coming back into that form that we kind of know him in.
Yeah, Matilda Burnham here on Inevitable Connection. Fast. This horse is quick. Out there, 21-4, 44-1. Now, always check. You can go to Stats, Race Lens, even Formula if you got it. You can check where the run-up was.
Right.
That was a 75-foot run-up in that race, hence the really sharp internal. This horse, though, is quick, as is One Whirlwind Ride. But this one was caught wide. I still think this horse might have the ability to make a pop move just off of it needed. And he's shown some fight when he's been hooked. So he might stay around a long time in here, the 4 Inevitable Connection. Grateful Bread. It's been a while now. This horse had, how long's it been? Going back to 2022 for the win. But maybe a little, another 8-year-old change of tactics, doesn't quite have that early lick again. Maybe we're kind of working with this guy to bring a finish. Did close up some ground last time, and this could work for him today. This is a tough race.
It is a very tough race. 3-1-4-10, Keith Fusel there for race number 5 that starts the late pick 5. We'll be back to discuss the Jackpot Super High 5 after this commercial break. And welcome back here. As I mentioned, we are on that Jackpot Super High 5. Also starts the late pick 4 as well. We're still hanging on to that carryover that we've got that's been kind of hanging around all weekend. And it starts in this maiden claiming 30,000, going 3/4 of a mile on the dirt for the 2-year-old. Scratching the number 3, Rick's Warm Heart. You and I both land on the number 2. Yeah. Bye-bye, Wicked Eye here for Daniel McKenzie. Toledo, I'm not surprised you had this one amongst. I knew. Looking at this, I'm like, Keith is going to have this one in his picks, but the fact that we both land on this one is kind of fun.
Yeah, I was looking for a little stranger.
Right.
Mutt Dillon, who we'll get to a video in a second, the two, Bye Bye Wicked Eye. I'm just playing a little bit of percentages here. Daniel
Same.
McKenzie has run one firster, got it done. Right, that was the Lau band that came back to run pretty well in the off the turf race, the Futurity, I believe. This stallion Chancelot was really, really fast. He's had 11 starters. 3 of them have won right out of the box. This mare has had 8 starters. 2 of them have won right out of the box.
Right.
That's it. Taking a shot.
Yeah.
Goes with Toledo. They team up at a pretty good rate.
27%.
Enough said. There's the shot at 15-1 morning line. General Maximus, I think, is going to improve off of the last race. I thought the debut was very encouraging. Just don't know what quite happened last time, but I'm going to give it one more shot just because the Burners had such a good run. But let's take a look at the 5, Mutt Dillon. And also in that race is the 8 today, Imperial Sky, and the 9, Wicked Divine. But Mutt Dillon ran into this Rudy Rod horse. And that was the horse we tried the other day. Had the bad form, but blinkers on, boom, got back to the dirt and whistled.
You called that one good.
68 buyer this particular day. Mutt Dillon did all the chasing. Angles down to the inside. Was kind of laying, maybe a little green too. And he just said, let's work down to the rail and stay here. Kept on with some effort to the wire. But the track was kind of holding speed. So those horses that were a little further back and a little wide, Imperial Sky, Wicked Divine, maybe they move up on a more fair surface this afternoon. Neither one of them would surprise me if they're in the mix. So 2-6-5-9, throw the 8 in there as well underneath if you get a square price.
All right, there we go. On to race number 7, back on the turf here, going 1 mile and an eighth for the 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. And this maiden claiming 30,000, a little bit. Oh, we land pretty close. Pretty close.
Okay.
Amen McLaren, Michael Matz, Angel Cruz. Your price of 12-1 on the morning line. Second time routing here in the barn. Comes off with a little bit of an improved effort over here for course and distance off of a big layoff.
I'm reaching. I'm reaching this race.
Okay.
I've got up in their corner. No trust. I got no trust in anybody. Amen McLaren. I'm going to be praying, right? Matt's is 2 for 4, 3 for 4 maiden claimers the last 3 years, plus 180. That kind of break on the turf with an ROI of 665. And you know what else? When he and Cruz kind of get together and do a little dance, they're huge. 56%. Jockey trainer combo over the last couple of years. That's enough for me. Outer post, when last seen as a 2-year-old, there's no flow in here. You're looking like you're trying to envision this race. If somebody can please tell me who's going to be on the lead after a half a mile, I could get a bunch of guesses. I couldn't tell you. I always try to kind of seek out how races are going to unfold. Maybe McLaren will go ahead and go. Chevy Man, video spotlight. He's been steady, and he's been good with the blinkers off. He had the blinkers 3 starts back, just didn't seem comfortable in that slower flow. And he was just kind of hung wide last time. Force just couldn't get a chance to get him to save any ground. But you know what? We're going 1 mile and an eighth. Stretching out another 16th of a mile. You're watching me here. It's not an explosive move as Ice Gamble controlled it up front. But you know what? It's a willing move. So maybe if he's able to save some more ground, he can just kind of out-grind the rest of this field.
Right.
Shot. He's not going to be big. 9-2. I'll take 9-2 on him if we can get it on Chevy Man. Spin it 9-5 morning line, but a shorter price all the way out there. He drops maiden special, maiden claim. You like that, but just second blinkers. He tries. He did have a little trouble last time. Upper stretch worked outward and churned on. But at the number, if he's too short, he's underneath for me. Petrosina, another one that has kind of encountered troubles. Northern Rye, you've got Jack Fisher here. This is usually a jockey-trainer combo I'm always kind of willing to give a good look to. He will be in the exactas because I'm going to spread around in here. You think maybe, this horse has gone hurdles to the flat before, but you think maybe he'll go because he had to 10-post a 3-back or 4-back try here at Laurel. Maybe he possibly tries to go ahead and get aggressive and nurse up front with Forrest.
I think even if he will get aggressive, the best he can do is still sitting right off of it.
Okay.
So I think
All right.
I just think that's naturally the way the horse is going to go. I just think the 1 mile and an eighth is just going to really fit him because it's that transfer. If you look at those jump races, in between, before and after that run that he had in June here, they're very similar. So you can expect a very similar result on the flat.
Okay. Yeah. That horse works. Highwayman,
I get it.
maybe
I
for
missed-
Matt's.
I
El
missed
Fuego's
11.
Mas Brillante
Yep.
is not out of the equation. Lots of ways to go. Again, race 7, if you're going to dive in, you've got to demand, I'd say 4-1, 9-2 or higher on your key horse in race 7.
Yeah,
okay.
I like that. I missed, I even missed out on the number 11 just because you saw so many possibilities here. Race number 7, 4, 6, 9, 11 for Keith Fustel there as we go to race number 8, our feature race of the day. And this allowance optional 40 going 7 furlongs on the dirt for the 3-year-olds and up. Scratching the 8th Circle P. You go with the number 9 on top. Boss Logic. And this is for Kieran McGee, Horacio Caramanos. Kieran McGee had a nice exacta 1-2 in a yesterday race.
Helen Marshall, right? Helen Marshall, Kieran McGee combo. They've teamed up for a lot of wins the last several years. So, yeah, and maybe right back, Kieran can get it done. Boss Logic, last 2, a little ho-hum. Got caught in a duel. Well, he's not nearly as fast as a couple of these horses early. Freeze the fire on the mark. Even don't wait up and coffee with Chris. They're quick. But you know what? Turning back to 7/8 of a mile, it's been a good move for Kieran runners. Route the sprint, you see it just in kind of over the last year. 30%. Got to go on the go back. Boss Logic was okay at 7/8, 3 for 5 at the distance. I think he'll be able to relax a little bit. Maybe he's tailing off, but they still kind of protect this guy. Maybe he's got one more to kind of, ramp up and bring a good run from off the pace because I think it's going to be honest. Don't wait up. Ness. Another one of these horses shipping in. Parks to Laurel. Laurel debut. Video spotlight on the 15th of October at Parks. For another pretty good effort. This horse is pretty steady and goes ahead and stalks a contested pace. River Dog, Maximus Meridius, who's a pretty nice 3-year-old, right, if I'm not mistaken. Second place finisher in here, Windsor Gold. I expected a little bit more yesterday. He didn't kind of bring it, right? Is it yesterday, the day before? My days are getting all mixed up. But anyhow, this horse does make this move into it and kind of just keeps on going. His numbers, buyer figures, steadily increasing. 65, it jumped to 86, and a 90. Is he going to quite bring a 90? I'm not sure, but he better bring just a touch more finish here. But I think he'll be forced into the mix by the time they hit the 5/16 pole.
Okay.
But Boss Logic, I mean, he might settle and make a good sustained run against this group. On the mark is very fast. He didn't have a really chance to kind of get the lead 2 races back. You see that comment, ease back early, chased on a little fade. If he clears and relaxes, he's got to do a freeze to fire. He goes a long way in here. He's pretty sharp. So 9-5-3-2. You got coffee with Chris. I think, his better races, we just haven't seen him. He's not quite – he hasn't been quite what he was, but he can always kind of ramp up, and he'll fight. You throw him into the mix, he stays around. Last time, even when he was collared, he fought on that last 5/16 of a mile.
Okay, there we have it. 9-5-3-2. Keith Fustel there with Boss Logic as his top selection. Morning line 10-1. Let's go to our finale of the weekend here on the turf. Going a mile and 16th in the maiden, claiming 20,000 for the girls. 3, 4, and 5 scratches in the 1, 3, 8, 13, 14, 15, 16. The AEs. Let's talk about your number 5 in your top selection. Sultry Sky here for Daniel Hodson, Jaron Barbosa at 20-1.
Yeah, 20-1. Why not? Another race. If you can really peg a winner. You're really, really good, these fillies and mares, going a mile and a 16th. Well, this is a 5-year-old mare. This is it for her, right, in Maryland. I don't know if she's going to be ramping back turf season. We got, 7 days. I think the 10th is going to be our last. Came back off the layoff, taken to rate, overland trip. All right, I'll pass. Just a tightener there.
Sure.
Now we got Barbosa. We got 20-1. If you're looking for a get-out type, this is the kind you're looking for. And strung together – in 23, granted, it was only 3 races. Buyer figures that work against this group. So we got Barbosa. End of the night. Let's kind of make that tote board shine because this horse is a grinder. She doesn't have much speed, but and that could be the key here because Kerry Bryant's horse and the inside and you go outside with Dropping Lemons. These two could kind of walk the dog and go a long way in the nightcap. Independence Way works, no doubt. A little bit of a drop with that closing move. She got the money. You've got in here Caramanos, Trombetta. I like that comment Bill's got in here. Bump, start, late move. 9th to 7th. Late move. Just pay attention, people. That usually means to gallop out. Everything else was kind of going a little bit better than what maybe it looks like on the running line. you got the horse in the mix, so I think
You
we're
have
going
my
to have
9.
to.
I really like the
Yeah.
9, Independence Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
With the blinkers off. 5, 9, 7, 6.
Mhm.
Let's rewind and dive back into those value plays. You
Okay.
have plenty of value plays, but you have some highlighted value
Yeah.
plays, Keith. Starting in race number 5, 5-1 Guapo. Again, Rudy Rodriguez gets Javian Toledo a little bit of a kind of a give me right there.
Yeah, I just think right. Back with Toulouse, run a couple races, was too keyed up at the mile, and I liked that horse last time. Ran that overland trip not too long ago against horses that were better. Man, I'll know mid-turn. I'm hoping Toledo's just sitting here like this,
Right.
about 2.5, 3 out of it, as there's a duel going on up in front of him. Hopefully we can strike from there.
Let's also talk about race number 9. We just talked about it. Sultry Sky, Daniel Hodson, J-Ron Barbosa. This one, I see it. I definitely see it.
Yeah.
And I feel like Barbosa could possibly kind of get this horse a little bit more forwardly placed.
I know this horse can get the route, has done it. I mean, his was a touch of a laggard in those 3 races last year, but brought some finishes.
Right.
And you've been encountered some trouble, so why not? At that kind of number, with a certainly more than capable rider, yeah, I'll take the shot. I mean, this day, from a value standpoint, you've seen I've got quite a few double-digit morning line horses. Amen
we had
McLaren
some
taking a shot, first time gelding, and we've got shots all throughout this card. It's a difficult card.
It is, and we had some prices yesterday. We had plenty of prices yesterday, so
Oh.
Yeah,
Go ahead. Yeah, 39,000. The early
Yep.
pick 5, late
That
pick
was-
5,
yes.
3,300. Yeah.
Yes, that was awesome. I just deleted actually all the
Okay.
prices that I've got. But
and
yeah.
real quick, I've got them here. But
Great.
Carlos Mencia, how about that? 2
Right.
wins yesterday with Michael Sheffries. Katie's notion to kick the day off. He's on fire at $43. I didn't see that one coming, but got it done. Other double-digit winners. Wait till the midnight hour. Zap me late. I needed it too. Thanks, Tromby. And then, Swill, 38.40. Had another big effort right there for Hugh McMahon.
That was great. Hugh McMahon had another price on Friday as well. Big
Yeah.
price there. So
Okay.
a little bit of a trend. Another price that we want to talk about, of
Yeah.
course, is post time yesterday in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Made us all extremely proud in that effort. Just narrowly and just not quite getting there to full Serrano, but Sheldon gave a great ride.
Yeah, and we were kind of all over this race. Full Serrano, I was shocked it got away from this price. Post time was my key.
Okay.
And Sheldon, great job. He was patient, let things kind of develop and got that seam upper stretch, really finished well. Full Serrano ran a big race. Right. But congrats to all of the connections, showed up. That's the key. There was a lot of hype about a lot of other horses, right, that were going to show up. They didn't show up. Post time. Right here from the old Mid-Atlantic from Maryland, got it done.
There we
and
go.
really ran big. So that was great to see. 102 initial buyer for post time.
Okay, there we have it. Very, very proud of those connections. We will
Yeah.
all be celebrating that with them when they get back here probably next weekend as they're still in California. But
Did they leave Farrier out there?
They might have left Farrier out there. And to be honest, I'm sure Farrier would have been fine with that.
Yeah, not a bad spot to be left, right?
He'll
You could survive in Del Mar.
And then he'll take his time coming back via Kentucky on
that's
and then
good.
West Virginia then to here. He may take him 2 weeks, but he'll eventually come back.
All
Let's
right.
go ahead to Dave Rodman for some more changes and scratches here for the last day of this weekend.
All right, good luck, everybody.